Hello, everybody, and welcome to our gentle beginners yoga session. We're going to start lying down on the mat. So when you're ready, bring yourselves onto your back. And you're welcome to keep your knees bent here. It can feel quite nice in the back to keep the knees bent. Or maybe you choose to stretch your legs along the mat. It doesn't really matter where those legs are. What matters is that you can just find some comfort and some rest to begin our yoga session. So when you've found the shape that works for you today, bring it close to the eyes. Become aware of the body on the mat. So aware of the parts of the body in contact with the mat, with the head, the back of the shoulders, the backs of the calves and the heels. Taking your awareness to your breath. Breathing in and out gently through the nose. And taking this time just to bring the awareness inwards. And as we move through all of these shapes, make sure you're moving kindly. If something feels particularly uncomfortable or hurts, then do just come back, choose a different shape or rest and then come back in when you're ready. Let's start by gently rolling the head from side to side. So we're just going to take the chin to one shoulder and then the other. And then let's bring that head back to stillness. We're going to bend through the knees, land the soles of the feet into the mat, and we're going to bring our arms out to the side. And then let's allow both knees to fall down to the left, back up to the ceiling, and then down to the right. Just a windscreen wiper move here, just to find some release through that back. Let's do one more on each side. And then we're going to bring the knees into the chest, give them a nice hug here and maybe a little rock from side to side just to feel a nice massage into that lower back. Bring the knees, ankles and feet together and allow both knees to fall over to the left. Maybe that left hand comes on top of that right leg. And we aim to keep both shoulder blades rounded into the mat. So just be mindful of that right shoulder blade and try to keep it pressed into the mat. One more moment here. Let's bring the knees up, a little rock from side to side. And then with your knees, ankles and feet together, we're going to bring the knees over to the right hand side and maybe the left arm comes out straight. If those knees don't reach the floor, and you want to pop a cushion underneath or something, then that's always very welcome. One more moment here in our two-legged twist. And then let's bring the knees back into the chest. Another little rock from side to side here. We're going to come up to seated next. So maybe rolling onto one side or maybe rolling up from your back. But in a safe and comfortable way for you, come into a seated position. And wherever those legs are, we want to find a nice length to the spine. So feel that you're grounded down through your tailbone and the crown of your head is rising up towards the sky. Sit bones are in contact with the floor. Let's inhale. We're going to reach our arms outwards and upwards. And then we're going to land the right hand into the mat. Come over to a lovely side bend. Feeling space opening through the left side body. One more moment here. And then let's bring ourselves to the other side. So we're landing the left hand into the mat. Come into the left side, feeling space opening through the right side body. One more moment. And let's bring ourselves up. We're going to come round onto all fours now. So let's meet in our tabletop position with our hands underneath our shoulders and our knees underneath our hips. And then on the inhale, we're going to lift our tailbone and the crown of our head up towards the ceiling. And then as we exhale, we're going to round and dome through that spine. So we're inhaling and extending the spine. And then as we exhale, let's round and dome. Inhale and extend. And exhaling, reverse that curve. Let's come back to a neutral position. And we're going to take a big step with the right leg so that the foot lands in between those two hands. Let's bring ourselves up. And we're going to just rest the hands on the thighs for a moment. Check that you can still see your right toes, and then you're going to sink your hips down towards the mat. But make sure you can still see those right toes. It protects your knee. Your hands can come to prayer, or maybe you lift your arms and your hands come towards the ceiling. Enjoying that nice stretch through the left hip flexor. One more moment here. Then let's land both of the hands on the inside of that right leg. I'm going to bring the right leg back to meet the left. And then we're going to step the left leg through. When you're ready, bring yourself up. Double check you can still see those left toes. You're so welcome for your hands to stay here. Maybe they come to prayer. Maybe you lift them above your head. And we aim to sink those hips down so that we can feel that stretch through that the front of the right hip. One more moment. Let's land both hands down. Going to bring the left leg back to meet the right. We're going to keep the big toes together, bring the knees apart, bring the bottom back towards the heels, bring the forehead down towards the mat, stretching the arms forwards, land the forehead down. And we rest for a moment in child's pose. Let's bring the hands underneath the shoulders. We're going to bring the knees together, tuck the toes, keep the hands down, lift the hips upwards. So we come into our standing forward fold. So you're welcome to keep the knees nice and bent here. Just try to feel the crown of the head falling down towards the earth. Let's take a nice deep bend into the knees. We're going to slowly bring ourselves up to standing. And let's meet in our mountain pose. So our feet are underneath our hips. Try to find a nice length to the spine, maybe bringing a close to the eyes. Relax through the shoulders. Breathing in and out gently through the nose. And let's open the eyes. We're going to bring the legs into a wide stance, so as wide as is comfortable for you. We're going to keep the right toes to the long edge of the mat and turn the left toes out to the short edge of the mat. Make sure your hips are still facing the long edge of the mat. We're going to bring our arms up to shoulder height. We're going to turn our gaze to the left side, and then we're going to bend through the left knee. Glance down and make sure you can still see those left toes. We're in warrior two. Let's bring that left hand down to the left thigh, and we're going to bring the right arm up along the body next to the ear. You can stay with your hand here, or maybe you can drop down and rest your forearm here. Just try to roll that shoulder back. One more moment. Let's bring ourselves back into warrior two, straighten that leg, and let's come onto the other side. So our hips and our shoulders are still facing forwards, but our left toes are to the long edge of the mat. Our right toes are to the short edge of the mat. Let's bring our arms up to shoulder height, and then we're going to bend through that right leg. Glance down to make sure you can still see your right toes. And we pause for a moment here in Warrior Two before we bring our right hand down to the right thigh. We're going to bring our left arm up so it touches our ear. And we just side bend here. Maybe that forearm comes down to that thigh. Work to your measure. One more moment here. Bring ourselves back up into Warrior Two. Straighten that leg. Let's have all 10 toes facing the long edge of the mat now. And we're going to fold at the hips. And we're going to dangle down here in our wide-legged forward fold. Hands and arms can be anywhere that is comfortable. But we aim just to relax the crown of the head. And let it fall towards the earth. Let's bring our hands to the floor. And we're going to shuffle our legs in. And in a safe way for you, we're going to bring ourselves back down to a seated position. Let's find a lovely length to that spine, wherever those legs are. Going to bring close to the eyes. Gently tuck your chin down towards your chest, just to find a length in the back of that neck. Breathing in and out gently. Let's bring an open to those eyes. Let's breathe in, taking the arms up to the ceiling. Palms meet, bring them down to heart center. Namaste.